All right, let's dive into one of the weirdest and yet most common mysteries of the human mind. We're talking about that strange, fleeting enigma, déjà vu.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're just talking to a friend, or maybe you walk into a room for the very first time, and bam, it hits you. This wave of intense, totally unshakable familiarity. It feels just like a memory, like you're watching a rerun of an event you know has never happened. It's so uncanny, it's gone in a flash, and it's just deeply strange.
And of course, there's a name for this. It comes from the French déjà vu, which literally means already seen. And that just nails the puzzle perfectly, doesn't it? It's this massive conflict between what you're feeling, this intense sense of a past experience, and what you know, the cold, hard fact that this moment is brand new.
Now, if you've ever felt this, trust me, you are in very, very good company. Roughly 2/3, that's about 66% of all healthy people say they've experienced déjà vu. Just think about that for a second. A sensation this bizarre is actually something the majority of us have gone through.
And that, right there, is what makes this such a fascinating scientific riddle. You've got a feeling shared by most of us, yet it's still one of the most stubborn puzzles in neuroscience. So why? Why is something so common, so incredibly hard to explain? Well, to figure that out, we've got to look at the evidence.
So where do we even begin? I think the most obvious place is the hardware itself, our brain. Could déjà vu just be a simple glitch, a little hiccup in our brain's wiring? Let's take a look at the neurological suspects.
Okay, so when scientists look at this, they're basically split into two big camps. On one side, you've got the brain glitch theory. This is the idea that it's just a brief processing error, kind of like a tiny short circuit. And on the other side, you've got the memory trick theory, which suggests the problem isn't with the brain's hardware, but with the software, the system that pulls up our memories.
One of the most popular glitch theories is something called the dual processing theory. Okay, so picture this. Your brain is getting information through multiple channels at once, and normally they are all perfectly in sync. But what if one of those pathways has a tiny millisecond lag? Your brain gets the first signal and registers the moment, but then an instant later, that delayed signal arrives. Your brain gets confused by this little echo and it doesn't process it as a repeat, it interprets it as a memory of something that just happened. Wild, right?
But hang on, what if the brain's wiring is totally fine? What if the real culprit isn't a glitch at all, but more of a trick of the mind? This brings us to a whole different set of suspects, the psychological ones.
And here's something you really need to get your head around to understand this. Our memory is not like a video camera, perfectly recording every single thing that happens. It's much more like a storyteller, constantly rebuilding the past from little bits and pieces. And sometimes, well, that storyteller gets a little creative, or it just plain makes a mistake. And that idea opens the door for a whole new way of explaining this.
This leads to some really fascinating theories. First up, the divided attention idea. This suggests you might have glimpsed something subliminally, out of the corner of your eye without really processing it. Then, when you look at it properly a second later, your brain goes, hey, I recognize that. Or how about Gestalt familiarity? This is where a new place has the same basic layout as a forgotten memory, like a classroom from when you were a little kid. Your brain recognizes the pattern, the shape of it all, but it can't place the memory. And then there's the forgotten dream theory, where what's happening right now is super similar to a dream you had, but don't consciously remember. All of these could create that same eerie feeling of, I've been here before.
So, we've got some great theories, right? Some really solid suspects. But this brings us to the single biggest problem in our whole investigation, the scientist's dilemma. Why, with all these good ideas, has the case basically gone cold?
And here's the real challenge. First off, you can't just ask someone to have déjà vu so you can stick them in a brain scanner. It is completely spontaneous and unpredictable. Second, it lasts for just a few seconds. The moment is gone before anyone has a chance to analyze it. And maybe most importantly, there's no physical evidence. It's just a feeling. You can't measure a feeling. All of this makes it incredibly difficult, maybe even impossible, to study in a lab.
Okay, so where does all of this leave us? After digging into the evidence, what's the final verdict on this unsolved mystery?
We come right back to where we started, to that central paradox. We have a feeling that 2 out of every 3 people have experienced, yet its true cause remains just out of science's reach. It's like a little ghost in our own mental machine.
So the next time that strange, echo-like feeling hits you, what are you going to think? Is it just a harmless little misfire in your brain's circuits? Or is it something more profound? A rare glimpse into the incredible and, yeah, sometimes flawed, way your mind actually builds your reality. For now, the case remains open.